Do a next one on the pregnancy confirmation. I'm sorry, this is a little bit hard to read, but I hope it'll be better on the video than what I saw on my camera. So we're going to talk about pregnancy confirmation because there's three different types of examples of things, but there's only three positive signs to actually confirm pregnancy. So we're going to do this in kind of like a straight light, like presumptive signs are going to be in red because they're not quite sure. There are signs that might be probable, which is okay, it's leaning more towards you probably are. And then positive signs, which are undisputable, that is absolutely a positive pregnancy. So the first one is the presumptive signs of pregnancy. So these are going to be subjective to the mother. So write subjective. So what does that mean? If it's subjective, it means the things that the mother is experiencing. So these are initial signs and symptoms of pregnancy. Could be, like we talked about in class today, there could be, more fatigue. A lot of blood nutrients are going to the rapid growth of a fetus in the first trimester. It could be fatigue. It could be morning sickness, of waking up feeling nauseous, maybe getting sick in the morning. It could be something like breast tenderness. Now, if you take each symptom by itself, like fatigue, it might not necessarily mean pregnancy. It could just be, hey, maybe I'm getting sick, right? If I'm getting sick in the morning, depending on how long it happens for, maybe I just have a stomach bug or food poisoning, right? Breast tenderness sometimes happens to women on their menstrual cycle or before bleeding. So it could be subjective to that as well. So these are kind of like a warning signs of like, hey, pay attention. There might be something happening. And then we have probable signs. Now, this is the one that I thought was interesting is probable is going to be positive pregnancy test. The reason being it's not a positive sign is because it's testing for HCG, human gonadotropin, something, I don't know. But you could be a false positive, could be a false negative. It's not necessarily 100% positive sign. Now, other probable signs, these are things that are assessed by a clinician. So obviously, pregnancy test as ordered by like a urinalysis or blood work. But other things that you have as well is things that we talked about in class today. Chadwick's sign. And Chadwick's sign is the like bluish purple coloring of the endometrium or cervix rather. And then there's other signs such as Goddard's sign up here. That's supposed to be capital. Oh God, I'm making a mess over here, sorry. Goddard's sign, which is another thing that's going to be assessed by a clinician, is going to be, which is softening of the cervix, which is kind of like the body preparing for birth. Anyways, next we have positive signs. Now these are the only three positive, absolutely no disputing signs of pregnancy. And I'll give you a little easy way to remember that towards the end. But the positive signs, right? Number one is going to be heart auscultation. Via Doppler. So a clinician is going to be, or a professional is going to be using a Doppler, that little probe, to try and assess and hear for the heart. And then we have two, the second, which is going to be fetal movement. Felt by provider. So let's say you go and you are getting a just a checkup, or you're going to your OB for a checkup. Your provider will, feel the abdomen and feel for any sort of kicking or quickening or movement by the fetus. And then the third, which is the last positive sign, is going to be ultrasound to verify. So that is looking for the fetus, looking for growth, looking for bunch of different things. So, like I said, there's only three positive signs. And the way that I can remember the three is just typically by what we do for an assessment, anyways. So, what do we do for an assessment? We look, we listen, oops, and we feel. So, those are the only three positive signs of pregnancy. And these are all going to be done by a special, by your OB, by your doctor, by a professional. Even if, yeah, it has to be done by a provider. So those are the only positive ways. Don't get mixed up on this. I'm going to try my best because I might get mixed up on this that a positive pregnancy test is only probable, right? Um, so these are the only ones: look, listen, and feel.